Hello. Yeah, we were talking something about Eve and sin and all that, and I've never understood that. And see, I have that story because that's in the Old Testament. That's in Genesis. So see, I have two Bibles with me here. I have my Net Bible, which I've had for a long time, and this is a big fat Bible. And then I have my Jewish Bible, the Tanakh. And so both have, Genesis. And I've always, I've read it so many times and other things, but today I kind of want to, look at it in the Jewish Bible, it's kind of the thing, because it's just, it's called the tree of good and bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I like that.
That's actually a tree between good and evil.
Well, see, evil and bad are kind of the same
thing.
Yeah, evil and bad are kind of the same thing. They're used interchangeably. But I think evil is, it's just weird. But however you call it, it's just weird. Let's see, where should we start? About the tree. Let's see. Let's find, I believe it's in chapter 2 where the tree is first mentioned. Yeah, let's see. Here we have, and from the ground the Lord God caused to grow every tree that was pleasing to the sight and good for food, with the tree of life in the middle of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and bad. So there was a tree of life, and there was a tree of good and bad, and it's weird. And here in verse 16 and 17, it's like, and the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden you are free to eat, but as for the tree of knowledge of good and bad, you must not eat of it, for as soon as you eat of it, you shall die. And then the tree isn't mentioned again later on until chapter 3. The two of them were naked, the man and his wife, yet they felt no shame. Now the serpent was the shrewdest of all the wild beasts that the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, did God really say you shall not eat of any tree of the garden?
I hate this part.
And see, God never said to not eat of any tree of the garden.
Yeah, he did.
Well, no, see, back here in chapter 2.
It said right here.
No, no, back here said, saying of every tree of the garden you are free to eat.
But
as for the tree of
you
knowledge,
must not eat of it.
Yes, but so they were allowed to eat every tree except for
the
for
good
that.
and evil.
Yeah, but see in here, but the serpent asked.
That's because he was trying to persuade her and lie to her.
Yeah. Yeah. And did God say, you shall not eat of any tree of the garden? And that wasn't what God had said according to chapter 2. See?
Well, because it was showing what the devil was trying to persuade her with. Sorry.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing is, and then after that, the woman replied to the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the other trees of the garden. It is only about fruit in the tree in the middle of the garden that God said, you shall not eat of it or touch it, lest you die. And the serpent said to the woman, you are not going to die, but God knows that as soon as you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like divine beings who know good and bad. When the woman saw that the tree was good for eating and a delight to the eyes, and that the tree was desirable as a source of wisdom, she took of its fruit and ate. She also gave some to her husband, and he ate. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they perceived that they were naked, and they sewed together fig leaves and made themselves loincloths. And see, here's the deal, is I've never understood this.
What?
Well, I never understood how you would know you're naked after you eat a fruit. I've never got that. You know what I mean? I've always thought, if it had said, well, they looked in the mirror, and then they knew they were naked.
There was no mirrors.
Right, there wasn't. That's my point. How did they know they were naked?
Because they realized who they were once they ate it.
Well,
their eyes were open. They saw things, and they saw themselves once they ate that tree, which they were never supposed to eat in the first place.
Yeah, and here's my question. Like Adam, okay, like Eve ate the fruit, and then she gave some to her husband.
I know. That's why
and he just ate it. And we have to wonder what Adam's doing during this time. It doesn't say what Adam's doing. It's like we don't know. It doesn't even say. Let's see. Let me see how it says it.
He didn't eat. Probably he I think he knew that he ate it.
Yeah. Well, it's weird, but like, what? First of all, was Adam even there while she was talking to the?
No, she was by herself.
It looks that way here, and we have to wonder what was Adam doing? You know, like was he swimming or climbing a tree? Because if I had been a naked man in the garden, that's probably what I would have been doing.
Well, he's probably watching the animals or eating other fruits.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows? He was probably.
It makes me wonder, where the heck were you, Adam?
Yeah, and so that's my question. Where was Adam during all this going on? And so then Eve gives him a fruit.
She was just by herself, though. I mean.
Well, yeah, because, you know, men and women are different. They do different things.
But the man is desiring the woman.
What do you mean by that?
Like, the woman is attractive, and they go towards the woman.
But he didn't even know the woman was naked back then. So
well, he still laid with her.
No, that's not till later.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, no, they don't do all that. They don't do any of that stuff till after this story. So this is interesting to me. But like, I've never understood the story. Like, I'm still stuck on Genesis 3, and nobody wants to talk about this.
Because, oh really?
Yeah.
My dad always wants to have conversations intellectually with my friends because my friend is beginning to hate God, and he's willing to talk to him and have lunch with him. So you can talk to my dad anytime. Yeah. My dad talks to all different types of people.
Well, I think that's good because, you know, a lot of people don't.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people, like, what I've encountered is, like, a lot of Christians, like, conservative Christians, you know, and they go to church, but they don't ever meet anyone who doesn't go to their church. Like, unless you go to their school or their church or you happen to work with them, they don't even know you're there. They don't even know you exist.
Well, not all the time, you know.
Yeah, well, but that's what I've encountered. Like, you know, since I don't go to church anymore, like, almost nobody talks to me. Except, you know, and, you know, it's like, of the people I knew, like, if they talk to me, it's on Facebook. Once in a while, they'll comment on something I write.
My brother talked to you?
No, I haven't heard anything from him. Not since I left that church. And isn't he somewhere in college or something?
He's going to a Christian college in Texas.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that before. Yeah, but that's just weird that, like, people just, it's like you're not.
That's called Christ for the Nations Institution.
Yeah, I've heard of that. But, you know, I think it's good that people talk about this stuff. And that's why I wanted to do this video series, because the world needs to see this. What happens is people debate about things that don't really matter.
Like what?
Don't matter. Well, like, people have these debates about the existence of God.
Oh.
And see, I've listened to some of these debates, and sometimes they're a little bit entertaining, but I kind of see it as a waste of time. I don't see why, because people aren't getting down to the real issues, you know, like why Jesus came, or what happened with the naked people in the garden. So yeah, I'm going to end this video, but we're going to talk more.